Right, hello, and welcome to this episode of the Daily Weekly podcast. I'm just quickly recording this little segment to let you guys know that the link at the top of the description will take you over to Ace Creeper's charity fundraiser for Young Minds. Young Minds is a fantastic charity in the UK that helps out hundreds of thousands of young people struggling with mental health issues and other issues in their lives, and it's a wonderful charity that means a lot to me. It's near and dear to my heart, and I'm sure many of yours, and it's just to kind of incite you to give what you can, if you can. If you've got spare change or just some money left over in your PayPal, please be sure to send it over if you can. It helps out so many kids and it'd mean the world to me. Ace Creeper will be doing a charity live stream on the 5th of December, and be sure to go watch out for that. He's a content creator that I've supported for quite a few years now, and if you're watching this, you probably like Doctor Who stuff, and he makes some wonderful Doctor Who content, so be sure to head over there as well. And again, the link to the Young Minds charity fundraiser will be at the top of the description. Enjoy the podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Weekly Podcast.
We'll be sharing our thoughts on a variety of movies and TV shows.
And of course, we'll be discussing the latest entertainment news.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Bradley. So, first of all, a little quick, I don't know how long we're going to spend on this, but we have crossed 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel. Yay! It came as a bit of a shock, to be honest, at the time it happened, because it was a bit of a dry moment on the channel, but our videos were being pushed out, and I guess people liked what they saw.
Yeah, like we were saying just before we started recording, I mean, the Amazon review, All Too Good to Be True, is doing shockingly well.
I
mean, like I say, it was a good video and I enjoyed it, but it just didn't seem like, I don't know, that good.
Yeah, I didn't. It kept climbing. The views kept coming, and I just couldn't believe it. And looking at some of the analytics, like you can see a certain point where YouTube just pushed it right out, and
definitely,
it shot straight out there, and people were watching. And wow! Yeah. So if you are new and you are listening to this, then thank you.
Yes, and welcome to this special Doctor Who-y podcast.
Yes, because we know what today is. It's November the 23rd, Doctor Who's anniversary, birthday, whatever you want to call it. It's a big milestone. Yeah. 57 years. Wow.
Christ. See, I can't believe it's been 7 years since we went to the cinema and watched the 50th.
I know.
I remember that night so vividly.
I do as well.
Oh, Christ.
7 years ago. Jeez. Well...
Yeah. It's mad. But we'll get on to that. So, yeah, we've also taken a little bit of a break. Kind of unintentional, because suddenly we're in lockdown again.
Yeah.
It kind of... I mean, I expected it, but it was just sort of like, we can't really meet up to do this because it's not technically work. So.
No, not really. And it just some of the ideas wouldn't work well by doing them as a podcast or video calls. No. It wouldn't really work as well as it would if we were together. But fingers crossed, we can start doing things in December.
Yep.
And some Christmassy fun things that we have planned. If we can do them, that would be great.
That would be.
We're just seeing how it goes, really.
Yeah, and I've been looking forward to these Christmas videos that we have planned, like, since we started this channel.
Yeah, that's the thing. We had ideas for Christmas way back in April, so it would be a real shame if we can't do them. But
see, we started this thing in lockdown, and we all thrive in lockdown.
Yeah,
maybe that's what it is. Maybe people just care about us when we go into lockdown
because they have nothing better to do.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well, that's because when there was no lockdown in the summer, that's it. Things started to drop.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Well, yeah. So
views are views.
They are, and we're grateful for all of them, and thank you, everybody. So,
absolutely.
as always, check out all the links in the description and use our hashtag Daily Weekly Podcast. Keep the conversation going. Follow our socials and all that jazz.
Yeah, and as always, as every person on this platform says, like, comment, subscribe. Also, follow us on Spotify, because I feel like we don't ever push that enough. So
Yeah, like you might listen on
yeah,
there, but follow us as well.
yeah, why not? Make our egos even more inflated. And just share it around with, your mates. Like we were saying, they probably have nothing better to do in lockdown, so
Exactly. Everyone's a bit bored right now. They need something different to do. And here we are.
Yeah, definitely. So, I guess with all the intro and thanks out the way, we should get into the bulk of it.
Here we are. The big bulk of this. I just feel a bit out of practice because we haven't done a podcast this way in 2 months. Which
no, I know, it's mad.
That must be our biggest gap between recording. Sure.
Yeah, it is.
So excuse that, but yeah.
Wait, no. Yeah, we haven't actually recorded in like what 3-4 weeks either.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
Because we filmed the podcast and, well, I guess breaking your immersion, viewers, that we film every video on a different way, on a different day even. They were filmed on the same day, and that must have been, 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. Actually, it might have been about a month ago, because it was before my birthday. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Yes, yeah, it was. Yeah.
So there you go. It's been a while for all of us.
Yeah, definitely.
But
so,
when there's a show about time travel, we could just travel in time.
When there's a show about time travel, we can travel in time.
Because it's real, obviously.
Breaking news, water wet. Yeah. I don't know about you, but for me, Doctor Who is one of those things that's just always been in my life.
Yeah.
Before it came back in 2005, me and my dad, we used to watch all the old Tom Baker stuff, and then it came back, and obviously we were hooked to the screens with green farting aliens in skin suits.
Oh, yes.
So, I guess to kind of kick it off, what would you say is your earliest memory of Doctor Who?
My earliest memory would probably, I think, the 2005 2005 Christmas special. And I hadn't seen any Doctor Who before that, and I think we were around my nan's friend's house for a Christmas dinner.
Right.
And it was on TV, so we just had dinner, and all the adults were in the other room doing whatever, drinks, party games, that sort of thing. And it was just me and my brother there. We were the youngest kids, and we were just in the living room, and it was on TV. And I wasn't really paying too much attention, and I was 5 years old at the time, so I don't remember too much of it. But I can remember that being my earliest memory, and it probably wasn't until I didn't see any of the classic stuff before that. I didn't see any Ninth Doctor stuff.
Yep.
So I saw the Christmas one, and then when it was back on TV for the regular series, I caught it, and it kind of went from there. I started enjoying it, and then I got some DVDs of the older stuff, and it was on repeats on TV. So that would be my earliest memory.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I can picture it, just sitting in the living room on Christmas Day watching it, because I have a similar memory. So, my earliest memory... See, I have kind of a couple, but this is kind of like the first one that's sort of concrete in my mind. And that is when Series 1, Episode 1 premiered, Rose. I remember exactly where I was sat and everything. So in my living room, I mean, you've been to my house. We've got between our living room and our back room, there's kind of like an arch, and we used to have our sofa. It was some really old horrid colour tatty sofa up against that. And this was in 2005, so this was, big box TVs,
Yeah.
and all that. And I remember my first memory was when that aired, I was sat on the floor for some reason, up against the arch and like the armrest of the sofa, watching it. And then kind of my hazy memories are sort of rough kind of things of watching like Genesis of the Daleks and stuff when it was on repeats. And what I'll tell you what, one of my favourite Doctor Who memories is, I think it would have been either Christmas 2005 or Christmas 2006. Do you remember the big, amazing TARDIS playset?
Yes, I had one of them.
Yeah. So I got that for Christmas, and I remember being like just in love with it, right?
Yeah.
And like I'm like a collector at heart, and you know me, I like buying like nerdy figures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's where it started. And I remember distinctively. That's not the saying, is it?
It might be.
Distinctly, that's the one.
Yeah.
Sitting in our back room where our Christmas tree was. And I remember my granddad, who's now sadly passed away. He used to come round every Christmas, and for some reason I never clocked when I was a kid that he'd always used to, like, I guess kind of fake surprise us that he was staying the night on Christmas.
Yeah.
And like as a kid I never clocked it. It was like every year. So I was like always just shocked.
Yeah.
And like amazed. And I remember just sitting in my back room, for some reason we had like what you do on like Christmas Day, like in the evening, like all your main lights are off but all the Christmas ones are still on, and it's kind of like a really nice sort of warming feeling. I remember sitting in the back room by the Christmas tree with those lights on, and like just the green light in my TARDIS playset just going on, and I feel like my kind of, I guess kind of my whole sort of nerdy, like my love for nerdy things kind of started with Doctor Who.
I think that's the same for me, really, because I didn't really watch any other sci-fi or like really wasn't into superheroes at that time. I just hated that. So it was really Doctor Who that kind of started it for me.
Yeah. See, I liked obviously like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, etc. And I had a couple toys of that, but with superheroes, I feel like I didn't really super get into them until the Avengers came out.
Yeah.
But in terms of sci-fi, like I from Doctor Who, I loved it. Like Doctor Who led to my dad introducing me to Red Dwarf, which one of the best comedy series in British history. And I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot in my life now that is kind of thanks to Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And kind of it just been installed in my brain from an early age, because my dad, he was watching it when, Troughton was the Doctor and Pertwee, and like my granddad, he told me that I think he said when he was he's like 10 or something, and An Unearthly Child, the first ever episode, that came on. He remembered seeing it but not really watching it or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's amazing just thinking that a show can go that long and it's kind of just passed down through generations. Like my granddad showed my dad it, my dad showed me it, and no doubt I'll show my kids that one day. And because it's been going on for so many years, it really has that generational thing to it, and especially with the whole idea of a regeneration with the Doctor. It's like people from older generations can relate to certain Doctors. Like it's in line, so it keeps moving forward as we show it to our kids and etc. Then there'll be a new Doctor for them, and they'll rewatch the ones that we grew up with. And exactly. I just like, no matter what people say about a show, no matter how bad certain seasons may be, how much you might not like a Doctor or the companions or whatever, like I love this show just because it's always been like my show, like, and like, I remember like when I was in like like infant school,
Mm.
and like going around being like, oh, I watched Doctor Who. Did you watch it? And like
Yeah.
nobody knew what I was talking about. Like nobody watched it, and just stupid
Oh,
little things like playing like the Dalek escape game on the Doctor Who
yeah,
website,
yeah.
and it's just I don't know. There's a lot that's special about the show to me.
Yeah, that's another thing going off with the games on the website. Before like proper video games, just playing a game on a web
Yeah,
browser, just
flash games,
yeah,
mini clip, yeah.
yeah, all that sort of thing, and
Oh,
all the Doctor Who ones, and
mhm,
oh yeah, it's and I think I didn't properly get into Doctor Who until honestly till about 2007. I'd seen like
yeah.
bits of it, but that was 2007 and 2008 were like that was my huge Doctor Who.
So that would have been like series 3, series 4
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I would watch it religiously, repeats, anything.
Mhm.
I started getting the DVDs, the toys.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, the amount of sonic screwdrivers I've had over the years,
Yeah.
I,
Do you remember that bloody the one that had like the pen tip and you always lost that little black cap?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
I had about 5 of them
I,
in total.
honestly, I think I've had over 10. Of just of the
Jesus.
10th Doctor screwdriver, I've had over 10 of them. I just lost them all the time. But at one point, I had literally all of them. I had, the screwdrivers, the River Songs one, the pen, the
I
Masters,
loved that design.
Captain Jack's vortex manipulator. I had it all,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it's just
Uh,
yeah.
so see, for me, it was all about the action figures.
I did have a few of them
Uh,
because I had the like inside of the TARDIS playset, and I got like
yeah,
the actual
yeah.
outside and the action
Do you remember
figures.
the TARDIS money boxes?
Yes, I think I had one of
Yeah,
them.
I had about 4 or 5 of them because I remember one Christmas, like none of my relatives kind of sort of spoke about what they were getting me, and then they all got me a bloody TARDIS money box.
Yeah.
And I remember there was, I think, 2 or 3 versions, and one had Chris Ferguson inside when he was the Doctor, and the other had Tennant. And
Mm.
yeah, it's just for me. I don't think if I'd gone into Doctor Who later than I did, I don't think I'd love it as much as I do, because I feel like as much as I do still like the show and I like how it's gone. I feel like a big part of my love for it is nostalgia
Yeah.
and kind of like those early sort of memories of it, but I still just like it baffles me that like like this is like the one show that's kind of just been there for me my whole life,
Yeah.
and ups and downs, I've always got Doctor Who, and I don't know, I couldn't imagine my life without it, honestly.
Yeah. It's weird to think that a TV show has played such a big part of our lives because I
Mhm.
like my younger brothers. They're 12 now, and they don't have a TV show they watch like weekly or whatever.
No.
And especially not
No.
even when they were younger. But I think I started watching this when I was like 7 or 8. Every week, I know
Yeah.
Doctor Who's on tonight, Saturday night on TV.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the
Yeah.
thing to watch. And I was like,
I feel like nowadays it's all just, I mean, I guess good for us. It's all YouTube now. Like
yeah,
every kid is just watching YouTube, and like as much as you might want to slate TV with, now you've got Netflix and Disney Plus, like there is something very kind of nice about having that kind of consistent show every week,
yeah,
and just kind of going back to it and being like, yeah, like you have that excitement during the week for it. And I remember just Saturday nights sitting downstairs waiting for the new episode to come on, and it's just, yeah, this is something magical, I guess.
yeah. And it's all great being able to binge watch shows these days. But I think, yeah, as a kid, having that your favorite TV show every week to look forward to, I think it was definitely something about it. And it was, I think it's safe to say I've kind of grown out of it now. I don't like I haven't
Yeah.
finished. I think the last series. I don't know. I started watching it. I haven't finished it. But back
Yeah.
then it was, even at school. Yes, okay, people, you listening, call me a nerd or whatever you want. Yeah, me and my friends, we used to pretend to play out episode moments.
Oh yeah, no, I did that. Yeah,
I
no, I
mean,
did that.
of
Yeah.
course, I was the Doctor. Who else would be? But
Yeah. Of course. I mean, everyone wanted to.
yeah, and it's I had the girls, and it was good times.
Wait, what?
But
What did you just say?
I said I had the girls. Because yes, believe it or not, people, and maybe if you went to infant and junior school with me, if you're listening, then you might disagree with this, but I was kind of popular. It was so that was the thing. No one
then
judged
he met
me.
me, and it all changed.
Well, it all changed when I moved to different school in year 6, and then bam. But anyway,
Yeah,
I'm happy
yeah.
with the friends I have.
Yeah. Oh,
But yeah, we.
that was quite a wholesome little segment.
Yeah, it was.
that was very
But
nice.
yeah, we used to, play it out, and like again, I mean, I don't know what kids do in the playgrounds these days. Maybe they play football or tag or whatever. But we used to do that.
Yeah.
I think, for me, it definitely was more of a childhood thing. But even in recent years, I'd still look forward to watch it and be like, oh, there's this, or I'd go online, looking for some extra reading about things, and
Yeah. So do you think for you it's one of those things that you like to be kept up to date on it, but you're not necessarily too bothered about seeing it?
Yeah, I think even recently, I was just kind of bored. I was just looking through things, and I was just online reading about some of the recent stuff and some of the future things that's going to happen. So yeah, I keep an eye on it every now and then, but I'm not as big a follower as I used to be.
Yeah, see, for me, like I think I'm kind of the opposite. Like I watch like the occasional YouTube video, and but it's just like I don't follow it as much online as I used to. But I feel like with me, when it gets closer to a new series or a new episode, then I start like that is my focus. Like I don't care about watching any other videos. Like I just give me like give me what brand of plunger the Daleks are gonna have.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, like I say, I'll always watch it. I think I don't know. It's just not something I can personally grow out of. It's always just that little thing of like it's just watch Doctor Who, and I guess in a way, like with us being old now, because let's be honest, we're getting there.
I feel it. I do.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of become a bit of a guilty pleasure to enjoy Doctor Who now, and I don't like that. I don't like that with any show where it's like, oh yeah, like it's kind of my guilty pleasure to like it, and I feel like The Walking Dead, with the kind of public perception of it, is starting to become that.
Yeah.
It's like, but that whole section there was just about our earliest memories, by the way, Bradley. We've got 5 more to go.
I said to you the other night, I don't know what I'm going to say. I really didn't. But, I said more than I thought I would so far.
Yeah.
So, those were some of our earliest memories. In fact, we could probably dedicate a whole episode to just that. But
we should do just like a nostalgia episode. Like pick a year and then like try and think of some memories from that or something.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. That could be a good game, actually. Just like the nostalgia challenge. And
yeah.
Try to remember kind of where you were in life and things you enjoyed back then.
Simpler times back in the day.
Yeah.
Life's easier when you're young.
It really is. I never got that when I was a kid, and I really get that now.
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
Oh.
Please help. So, I guess on to a bit of our favourites now. Should we do this in 2 sections of classic and new Who?
Sure, yeah.
So, favourite episodes. What would you say is your favourite modern episode?
My favourite modern episode would probably, because seeing it as a kid, Stolen Earth and Journey's End, seeing all of the 10th Doctor's companions like kind of reunite in that big crossover event.
Yeah. On Torchwood and Sarah Jane
Yeah.
Adventures crossing. Oh,
So for me, those two are probably my favourite because it's the Daleks, the Doctor, everything. It had a bit of everything at the time.
yeah.
So for me,
And Davros coming back, that
yeah,
was huge.
yeah,
Even though they spoiled it in many trailers before.
and the regeneration fake out. Oh, that cliffhanger. Well, what's gonna happen?
They do that in most series now, and I hate it.
Yeah.
And I'll get on. I'm sure we'll get onto it with Capaldi's era, where it happened about 6 times. I'd say my favorite modern episode. Going right. So I've got 2 answers for this. Going from like nostalgia, I would probably say, yeah, probably the same. Like Journey's End and Stolen Earth.
Yeah.
Just because I remember watching it in like 2008, 2009, and I remember getting a 4-pack of figures. It had the Doctor, Davros, the red and gold Supreme Dalek, and I think it had one of the special Daleks with the weird plunger from that big Death Star thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What's it called?
The Crucible, I think.
That's the one. Yeah. But I'd say in terms of actual like episode quality and kind of, I mean, just kind of spoiling it for later on, but my favourite modern Doctor, I'm going to go for World Enough in Time from series 10.
Oh yes, that's a good episode.
Yeah. I love that episode. And essentially it's everything I love about Doctor Who. It's got some of my favourite monsters, the Cybermen. It's creepy, it's kind of body horror, and there's that kind of classic Doctor Who feel to it, and it's just that, like just that bloody half-made Cyberman just going, kill me, over and over again. It's just so grim. And, within the first, spoiler alert, by the way, we probably should have said that at the beginning, but, within like the first 5 minutes, Bill has like a bloody foot-wide hole in her chest. And it's just gory, and I just love it. Like, I just think it's what Doctor Who should do more of. And it takes risks, and unfortunately, the second part to that story, The Doctor Falls, isn't half as good, in my opinion. But
I think if you see him as an individual episode, it's not as good. But I think overall, then, it's part of the.
Yeah, overall, it's a bloody good story. But I think Doctor Falls is just him running around a field, waving around the sonic screwdriver, and Cybermen that can't walk like Cybermen, and so like I was saying, those bloody 2006 Cybermen costumes they're awful now. They're rolled out for every convention, and like they just get battered, and they look dreadful now, and I just don't know why they keep using them. But anyway, my favourite modern episode is World Enough in Time / Stolen Earth, I guess.
So what would you say your favourite classic episode is?
Spearhead from Space, easily.
Oh really?
I love
easily.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So easily. I love that episode. I mean, Pertwee's my favourite classic Doctor. And Spearhead from Space is his first story, and they absolutely nail the Autons in that. And they do kind of like a lot of creepy stuff with like just random like mannequins and the what's the thing that kind of makes them all alive and scary? The big the thing that they made a big slug in the new series.
I can't remember.
The Nestine, is that it? The Nestine?
Yes, Nestine Conscious?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
But basically, they're kind of like influencing like a company that makes mannequins to kind of make loads of Autons and stuff.
Yeah.
And as far as I remember, it's very classic Doctor Who, but it's such a good story. Like, I just love it. It's just my favourite classic story. Although
Oh.
I'd say second, close contender. It's the same as pretty much everyone's answer. Genesis, like.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my answers. It's such a good story. I really like that one. But
See,
apart
I
from
like it, but it's way too long for what it is. There's too many parts to that story.
oh well, I think we'll get onto that a bit later. But
Yeah.
I suppose obviously episodes these days don't have as many parts as they used to do.
No.
But apart from Genesis, I liked Earthshock. That was
Yeah.
a good one. What
Uh-huh.
was the other? I can't remember the exact name of it, but I think it was a Fifth Doctor story with the Daleks.
I don't know what you're on about.
I think it had Davros in it. I'm not too sure what it was though.
I know most classic Dalek stories had
Yeah,
Davros in.
that does narrow it down.
Oh,
I can't remember the name.
I don't know. I guess another contender for my favourite is Remembrance. Obviously,
Yeah, that was another one that I had in mind.
it brought together, years of this Dalek civil war that had been going on, and
Yeah,
it was good. It was good stuff.
it was good.
I can't think what episode you're on about. Well, I think I know what episode you're on about, but I can't think of the name.
See if a quick Google search.
And I'll take this moment to remind our viewers to like, comment, and subscribe.
Resurrection of the Daleks.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, all of the titles back then were something of the Daleks. Which I'm really glad they've brought that back for this year's Christmas special.
It just works well. It's like a story. Like if you put them all together, it wouldn't quite work like that. But looking at the titles, it's like this saga.
Right. How on earth was Resolution not called Resolution of the Daleks?
Yeah.
Like, I do not get that. Like, I would have thought, like, even maybe on like the DVD they would have corrected it to say that, but I guess it was meant to be a big reveal that it's a Dalek, but everyone knew about 12 months in advance.
Yeah, I think they wanted to keep it a big secret, but it didn't really work.
I mean, the thing is, like, most viewers know that legally they have to use the Daleks once a series.
Yeah.
And that's why they're doing it in, like, the specials at the moment, which I don't mind, but we'll get onto that a bit later. Yeah, so this next topic, I feel like I'm going to struggle with this a bit.
Yeah.
Favorite companions. So I guess we'll do what we did with the last one, classic and modern. I mean, do you have an answer for this? Because if so, you're more than welcome to go first.
I was just trying to think of the names of classic companions because I can't really remember too many of them.
No, they do kind of just.
Because there's a lot more, for classic stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more names floating in my head. I think for a companion of modern Doctor Who that we might disagree on is Clara.
Oh yeah, no, we disagree.
I liked her, but I didn't like her when pretty much when she was with the 12th Doctor, which was for most of her time.
They both treated each other horribly.
They did.
Like,
it's like
they just lies to each other constantly.
They did. It's just like I mean, I know for the Doctor it was a personality change, but it was with Clara as well. She just with the 11th Doctor, she was nice, likable, but then she just, I guess she didn't like the old man, but she
see. My problem with modern companions is that they always give them a subtitle nowadays. It's always the girl who waited, or the impossible girl, or the last centurion, or whatever the hell Rory was.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't like when they make the companions special. Just have them like what they've done with, well, as far as we know, with Graham, Ryan, and Yaz. Just have it be some random blokes and women on Earth that the Doctor's just picked up and they've gone on an adventure.
Yes.
Like
they don't all need to have this special story that's intertwined with the Doctor's life or something.
Yeah. I gotta admit, I think that's probably, I don't know. I like the setup with what they did with Clara's one of like, oh, he keeps meeting her in different time periods.
Yeah.
And I wish there was more of that, but I didn't like why she was in a lot of stories. Like I didn't like that it was, oh, she just jumped into the Doctor's glowy timeline. That sounds mad. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like, oh, and Clara's the reason that the Doctor nicks the TARDIS. Okay, nice one.
Yeah, I think it was cool to see her pop up here and there, but the way they kind of revealed how was a bit disappointing.
They should have just made her like a Time Lord or something.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, she basically was in the end, wasn't she? I mean,
pretty much.
Didn't she basically yell at what's his face, Rassilon?
Yeah. She's off there in the universe with another TARDIS, and she just about cheated death.
And bloody, what was her name? Me.
Oh.
Yeah.
God.
What a waste of an actress. She could have been Susan, for God's sake.
That would have been a lot better.
Everyone thought she was.
Yeah.
Because
I thought that.
What was it she said in that trailer? Wasn't it like hello old man or something?
Something, yeah. Like it seemed like she recognised him, but
yeah, and it's just like, well, I mean, I guess she did, didn't she, technically? But I don't know. No, I wasn't a fan of Clara. I'd say my favourite modern companion is either Bill or Donna. I know that's a very controversial pick, both of them. Bill, I just thought she was the perfect kind of contrast for 12.
Yeah.
And Donna, I feel like, was like the perfect best mate for Tennant.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just like both of them. Classic. My answer's probably Ace or Tegan.
Yeah.
I mean, Ace is great. I mean,
she's
Ace.
Yeah. Just going back quickly to what you said about your choices. Yeah, I think it was, especially if you think back to the 10th Doctor, it was that kind of mutual love between him and Rose, and then it was one-sided with Martha kind of fancying him.
I'm sorry. Right, excuse my language, but Tennant is an absolute dick for how... Well, not Tennant. But Ten is an absolute dick for how he treated Martha.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like he knew...
She told him, and that's why she left.
Yeah.
And he never learned. He never apologised.
No.
It was just, you were just banging on about your ex while there was clearly,
She liked you, and then you knew that, and just...
Yeah.
But yeah, then it obviously went with Donna, that friendship.
Yeah.
Which I think...
I loved them two together.
Oh, yeah, me too. And given like what Ten had been through up until that point, it was nice that he could kind of take a break from the whole love aspect. And it was just a friend, which is what he wanted.
I don't like that with the Doctor and Companion. I don't like the fact that it's kind of become sort of, I guess, a stigma in new series that the Companion kisses the Doctor at least once a season.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you don't really need to, do you? Like, he's bloody ancient compared to you. You're like...
Yeah.
He's basically cradle snatching. Who was it that said that? Was it Missy who said that or something?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh Christ. But yeah, I just.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I really liked Donna.
Yeah, she was good. It was in the way her character arc ended. Oh, it's unfortunate.
I gotta admit that, like, I don't care about Rose. I've made this no secret. I don't really like Rose at all. But Donna was just like because I genuinely really liked her, and I think Catherine Tate, I'm not a massive Catherine Tate fan, but I think she did bloody good. And I'm just thinking about how her character sort of left off. Yeah, it's sad. And then she remembered everything and blew up the master.
Yeah.
Or something.
That just got me thinking, before I get on to my favourite classic companion, How many modern companions have had a happy ending? Because
Martha kind of did.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Martha is the one who ended up
But
with
she
the
was
happiest.
heartbroken. But she left because she was sad.
Yeah, but then when we see her after that, she's happy. She's found other people. I mean, she ends up with Mickey,
Clara
doesn't
did.
she? Well, I suppose you could count
Oh
Clara.
yeah, she does, doesn't she?
If you forget the fact how she dies, but then
About
she's like
12 times, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I think Martha ended up the happiest, I suppose.
Yeah, she was off with Mickey fighting Sontarans.
Yeah, but
Who else? I mean, Amy and Rory jumped off a building.
yeah,
Oh no, but then it reset time
and then
or something.
then they were sent back and stuck.
Happily ever after in.
So I guess they were happily ever after back in like 30s New York or whatever it was. But
Yeah.
then, Bill, I guess again right at the end you could say it was happy, but
Well, she was a Cyberman and then turned into a puddle.
yeah. So I think the puddle part,
Yeah.
and then it was the girl who,
The girl that she'd known for about 2 months.
yeah, who came back right at the end, and they turned into puddle. But
happily ever after. And apparently, I guess potential spoilers for Christmas, or New Year's. Graham and Ryan might be getting killed off, or Ryan might be, and Graham might be leaving.
yeah,
See, I wouldn't be surprised if what they did was kill off Ryan, and then Graham leaves, but have him as like a Wilf type character.
yeah,
So like when they go back to Sheffield, like pop in, see Graham, and if they need his help with something, then yeah, I don't know, but
yeah. So finally, onto my favourite classic companions. Ace, as you mentioned, was good. Tegan, liked her. I mean, Sarah Jane,
yeah,
Who else?
absolutely.
I can't. I mean, who else? It's
Joe
like
Grant.
50 of them. Yeah, Joe Grant. She was good.
Christ, who else?
There's loads.
Tell you what, I'm actually quite a big fan of Barbara and Ian.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they were the first, and I've always seen people saying like, oh, they must have gotten together, and I when they got back to Earth, because they weren't together, they were just colleagues, right, at the school, and I feel like they're just sort of I feel like who else would they be able to settle down with except each other?
Especially what they went through, like for the time. No one's going to believe anything they say anyway. So, they just kind of fell into each other's arms and lived happily ever after. But who knows? I
heard a really good theory. So the Peter Cushing movies?
Yes.
Yeah. I heard a theory that apparently when Barbara and Ian got back to Earth, they wrote those movies, and that's why it's a different Doctor. The TARDIS isn't really a TARDIS. Susan's, whatever. And the Doctor's not really an alien, so they kind of grounded it for Earth.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
There was in the 50th, when they're in the unit vault, the Black Archive. There was supposed to be originally, it was meant to be a poster from the Peter Cushing movies in there.
Yeah, I heard about that.
But they couldn't get the rights to it because the BBC technically don't own that movie.
Yeah.
Which is why there was a whole debate about they can't make Peter Cushing movie figures and stuff because technically they don't. It's not really the Doctor Who license; it's a separate license. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, that was a whole other ramble.
So yeah, there's a whole lot of classic companions.
Yeah,
a lot of good ones in there.
It is hard to pick a favourite.
It is, especially when some companions span multiple Doctors. You think, oh, they go better with this one or that one, and yes. So speaking of Doctors across it, who would you say is your favourite Doctor? That's the biggest question. If you ask any Doctor Who fan, who's your favourite?
I've answered it. My favourite classic Doctor's Pertwee. My favourite modern Doctor's Capaldi.
Yeah, I think.
What?
I fall into that group of people who are just gonna say Tennant, Oh, favourite Doctor Who, number 10.
See,
I mean, he is.
when I was younger,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like, because he was he was like the cool Doctor,
Yeah.
right? It was the one running around in Converses and, you know, just being a hero. But, like, I feel like I just grew out of him and I kind of realised how much of just an arse he was to most of his companions.
Yeah, he did have that kind of, that darker side to him.
I mean, half of his series is him running around smacking his forehead, so, and just screaming, "Oh yes!" So,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
But who would you say your favorite classic is?
Probably 5 and 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people don't really like. They always class 6 and 7 as like the worst Doctors, but if you go back and watch some of Colin Baker's stories and some of Sylvester's, like, there's some really good stuff. Like, what's that bloody Cyberman story with 7? Is it Nemesis of the Cyberman?
Something Nemesis, yes, yeah.
Yeah, where he... my favourite line in all Doctor Who, he pops out of a bush... Like, there's a couple of Cybermen just standing around by their spaceship, and the Doctor just pops out of a bush and he just says, "Hello, I'm the Doctor. I believe you want to kill me." And it just runs off. It's just so good.
Oh, yeah, it's like 6 and 7. They get a lot of slack, but they're.
I'll be honest. 7's costume is my favorite Doctor Who costume. I love it. I love the question mark thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I've always had a soft spot for that, but like, it is a bit on the nose of like, oh, Doctor Who, but I just love it. I really think that's like kind of iconic but forgotten kind of sort of, I guess, visual symbolism of the Doctor.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get that anymore.
No.
Like, I would have loved to have seen Capaldi in like, like a shirt that was like black and had like white question marks on it or something.
Yeah.
But no, he just went into hoodies and t-shirts despite his incredible costume.
Yeah, it's like when they like released that picture of his new official costume that he wore for like 3 episodes in the first series of his.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And then he just went on to, let's say, like hoodies and
yeah.
stuff.
I liked his costumes for his last series though. Series, what was that, 10?
I really like the red coat.
Yeah.
I love the red coat.
And and when he had his hair longer, I think it suited him a bit better.
Oh, I loved the long hair on
Yeah.
the body. It looks so much better than the short, bloody trimmed up.
Yeah.
Although, Matt Smith's second costume,
Yeah.
I love.
I prefer that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the first one, not a fan. Tweed jacket, no thanks. But the second, yes, love that.
I'll admit, like, I really like the costume of him in the green long coat with the Stetson.
Yeah, that was good too.
I love that look. Like, not for like a permanent costume, but for like a couple of episodes to vary it up.
Yeah.
Like, oh god. So that's just reminded me of bloody Christopher Eccleston when they go to Victorian London in The Unquiet Dead. Rose puts on like this lovely like Victorian dress. Yeah. she says to Eccleston, "Aren't you gonna get changed?" And he goes, "I've changed my jumper." It's just like, it's like brilliant. Yeah. Nice one. I don't like Nine's costume. Just the leather jacket and the t-shirt.
I just think the whole, no offense to, because I mean he had no choice in what he had to wear for the role. But I don't know. It didn't seem very Doctor Who. Oh, did it? Oh, okay.
Because I'm pretty sure all the Doctors get kind of like a sort of a pick of what they want. So I remember Matt Smith chose his. And I think Capaldi chose his because I'm pretty sure Pertwee's his favourite Doctor as well, and that's why his costume is kind of similar.
Okay.
I think Matt Smith overall does have the best costumes because to me it's that kind of like nerdy, sort of like quirky kind of, guy sort of running about. But honestly, he's one of my least favourite Doctors.
Oh, yeah, it's just like that thing, obviously, when a new Doctor comes along, I'm just not a fan of them, and like especially like the first season, I just don't like them. But then they grow on me, and then it's the Yeah.
Should we talk about a bit of controversy with the Doctor? What is like your genuine opinions of Jodie?
If I'm brutally honest, again, maybe it was the
Yeah.
timing of me growing out of it, but
Mm-hmm.
and not just because she's a female. Jodie's a great actress, but
She is.
I don't know. Maybe it was the writing, the stories. I'm just not a fan. That was
Yeah.
kind of the final nail in the coffin for me, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
the last series, there was some good stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
well,
They upped their game big time last
they
series.
did, they did. So that kind of bringing me back into it slightly, but yeah, that was kind of eh. Oh,
I
okay.
tell you, I'm gonna put a little section in here for favorite, I guess, reveals / cliffhangers. Spyfall Part 1, The Master. Didn't see it coming. Wasn't
No,
rumored.
not at all.
I remember just being like saying out loud because I was watching it downstairs with my dad at the time. I remember just being like, "What?" Like I was genuinely just like shocked to my core by that because I was like, I thought he would just kind of be like maybe working with the aliens in secret when that whole like running thing happened. But it's just like, oh no, spy master. It's just like, oh hello. Like, wow. I admit, one of my main problems with new Doctor Who, stop involving the Master in every bloody Cyberman story.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just every story in modern Who is, oh look, it's Missy or the Master, and she's the one behind the Cybermen, and it's just like, well,
yeah. It's like
you don't need to.
No, and you think the Master would have learned, like, it doesn't really work out well with using the Cybermen.
I know he's done it in classic Who, obviously in the Five Doctors. It's pretty iconic with him and trying to, sway the Cybermen.
Yeah.
But I feel like New Who just doesn't have enough confidence in the Cybermen to do their own story. Like, as good as Well Enough in Time and the Doctor Falls is, it doesn't need the Master, in my opinion. Personally.
Well, yeah.
I don't think they shouldn't have spoiled that John Sim was coming back.
Oh, no, if that was kept quiet,
yeah,
that would have been wow.
Same with the Mondasian Cybermen. Like, I feel like leading up to that moment when like you're just seeing like the people kind of in like the with the cloths over their heads, and it's just like, oh, like they're a bit Cybermen-y, but they're probably not doing like old school Cybermen, like proper Cybermen.
Yeah.
And then, imagine that, like, pretty much at the same time, you have Bill is a Cyberman. Oh, look, it's old Cyberman. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, John Sim's back. Oh, look, it's the Master.
Yeah.
There's two Masters. Like, that's a lot in one go. Like, I feel like maybe they were worried that they'd give fans, like, heart attacks or something.
Yeah.
But I went off topic there. I quite like Jodie, but my kind of issue, mainly with her first series, was that she was a bit too happy-go-lucky all of the time, and there was none of that kind of like how the Doctor always has like that little bit of darkness, that kind of like fire, and I feel like my kind of main issue with her first series 11, was that. But in series 12 she had quite a few moments, but I'd still like to see more of that, and I hope if in the festive special they do cut off a companion, I really hope that brings out that fire in her, and she's a bit less kind of, let's go to a planet and save some people. That was a terrible Sheffield accent.
She needs something to go really badly wrong. Like,
tell you what, right? I'm throwing it out here. I think I've said this to you before. What they should have done at the end of Resolution is have them take that one Dalek back to its mothership, but then have it as like a trap that they got caught by the Daleks, and then pick up maybe like a year later when we came back to Series 12. They've been prisoners of the Daleks for a year, and that's like broken them. That's fractured their trust, and they could have like done something really great of them kind of trying to become that sort of family again through series 12. And
I think that's too good of a story for the show.
yeah, I know, it's just like, but just imagine though, like,
Yeah.
we come back in series 12, like, they're all just battered and they're just prisoners, and like the Daleks have won finally.
Yeah.
And anyway,
Oh.
speaking of Daleks and monsters, favorite monsters?
Well, I think I'm a Daleks fan. I prefer the Daleks to the Cybermen. Well, I think the Cybermen are more scary. Apart from that horrible 2006 design, which was whatever, or that one where they
flares and a thong,
or that one where they looked like Iron Man rip-offs. But
I hate the Nightmare and Silver ones.
Yeah, but apart from that, I think they, especially the classic ones, I thought the classic Cybermen were.
They're scary.
They were, yeah. Yeah, and obviously the Weeping Angels are pretty scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like that really did scare me as a kid. Oh,
yeah.
But
see, I remember actually being more scared of the Unquiet Dead than I did Blink.
Oh, really?
Because I found that ghost woman in Victorian London, I found that terrifying.
Yeah.
I would like when I was watching like the series back, I would skip that episode every time. Blink I could watch,
Yeah,
but it was still kind of a bit like, oh, scary statues.
See, it's not scary when you put it like that, but it's just like,
that's what they are.
I know, but like if it's just like see a statue just like looking at you through a window. Gee, that was
yeah,
that would shake me up a bit.
I feel like they did it in kind of like I guess like classic sort of horror movie kind of trope way of like all the abandoned house, and she rips off the wallpaper and there's a sinister message apart from like, well, it's just Doc, love from the Doctor.
Yeah, and then bam. Yeah.
I admit I really liked like the whole thing with like like how there was those recordings of the 10th Doctor who was stuck in time.
Yeah.
And it's just like it kind of links up to what they were doing, but then it ends up that Sally Sparrow, the main character of the story, she was the one who like writ the script for him to do that.
Yeah,
based off of what you already done.
Bit of a paradox there, yeah. He knew what to say because of her having the conversation with him, and a bit of a loop, but it's so cool how it,
all went full circle.
It did.
Yeah. It is a really good story. So I'd say my favorite monsters. Again, I'm gonna break up into classic and new Who. I'd say classic. I know they've been in the modern series, but classic's better. Autons in classic, because I just found them creepy and weird and amazing. Because I feel like that's one villain that kind of affected me in real life. That I was terrified of mannequins as a kid.
Yeah.
Like going into like Primark and like H&M and stuff. Like I was deadly scared of them when I was a kid. But modern, I'd probably say honestly, I really like the Silence.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're such a cool like idea that you look away, you forget them.
Yeah.
I'm not massive on like the lightning fingers, but I'd quite like it if it was just something like if they like combine the Silence and the Weeping Angels, that like the Silence then send you back in time to die of old age, because the Silence, like, they're not really meant to be villains, as we kind of find out in the end. They're just kind of, as we find out very briefly in about 2 lines in Time of the Doctor, which is then just passed off by Matt Smith. It's just like, oh yeah, we've sent some Silence back to try and kill you.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, oh, cool. Yeah. But, and then they start wearing turtlenecks in that story.
Because I think, like, I might be remembering this wrong, but there was only a small bit of dialogue about it, about how, wasn't there something, like, it was part of this church thing. Am I remembering this wrong?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you could confess anything to them, and then you'd forget you'd ever told them.
Yeah. So essentially, it was like the church sent back like a load of Silence in time to kind of I can't remember why they sent back, because The ones that were, I'm pretty sure that the ones that tried to kill him, they mentioned that they broke off
Yeah,
from the main group.
a rogue faction went off and
then joined that woman with the eye patch.
yeah.
And then, but then didn't they also mention that like, didn't that woman also say in Time of the Doctor like, we need to make sure that you never reach Trenzalore to start the war or something.
Yeah.
Because if he kills the Time Lords back. So I don't know. Either way, some big old men in suits went back and tried to zap the Doctor.
Yeah, with their
Brilliant.
weird. I mean, they don't look very nice.
I like the design of them.
Oh yeah,
like,
I mean, like yeah, the design's
like,
great, but like
I tell you what though, what I loved was that they were introduced in that in like the American episode.
yeah,
So it's like
perfect.
it's that classic kind of like Area 51, and they have like that kind of classic alien kind of silhouette.
Yeah,
They've got like the big gangly fingers and like the big round heads.
and the fact they were in the suits, I thought it worked perfectly.
Oh yeah,
like
I love that.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, they're my favourite.
Yeah, I think for me, I just keep it easy. I guess. Well, I can't say they're scary, but I would say they're my favourite. So for modern, I would say the Daleks. For classic, I'd say Cybermen. That's just me.
Yeah, I love the Cybermen. Don't get me wrong, but like you were saying, like old school Cybermen, like proper, like creepy, like
Yeah.
I love like the slow talking, like Mondasian Cybermen of like you know, like I waited for you. It was a very very good Bill Cyberman impression.
Good. That was good.
I just don't like the voices of the new ones because they went from like really squeaky and like just artificial to like really croaky deep ones with Nightmare and Silver. And then I can't remember what the new ones sound like. They look good though.
Yeah.
Apart from when they turn into Time Lord Cybermen.
Yeah.
Anyway, so obviously in a few years we've got the 60th anniversary coming up, which is massive. How do you think? What do you think they should do for it? Like just in general.
Well, I'd love a typical multi-Doctor story with some worthy villain to face off against. Bring back a few companions and all that. Although, given how things are going with the show right now, I'm a little worried. Like, I'm not sure if they're gonna have to do something big, but I don't know.
I think they will.
I don't know how big.
I mean, by 2023, I can't imagine Jodie will still be the Doctor.
No, I don't think so. But
I think maybe they'll. I don't know. To me, 60th doesn't mean much. Like 50th is like you know, you've been around for half a bloody century.
Yeah.
But 60th is just kind of like, oh, it's another 10 years. Like,
yeah.
I mean, but Christopher Eccleston, he said he'll come back for the 60th.
He has seemed to be a bit more on board with the whole Doctor Who stuff recently.
I mean, he's doing audiobook stuff.
Yeah.
Now. And so like, this is amazing. Like, he's finally, after like 15 years, he's let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, go on, bring Ninth Doctor back. Please bring back the Eighth Doctor. Give him Paul McGann. He deserves more screen time.
God, yes. He was incredible in that short.
I know.
And his audio drama is incredible. Yeah. Like, I think the only reason I can't say he's my favorite classic Doctor is because of like physical screen time.
Yeah.
I think he would be otherwise because I love Paul McGann.
Yeah, like he did so well in that short like mini episode. And
what's it called? Night
of the Doctor, yeah. Like he did so well in that, and obviously he's done amazing in his audiobooks over the years. Just like bring him back, come on, please.
Do it.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to see David Tennant back, but
he'll come back for anything, won't he?
I hope so. But
I think Smith would as well. Capaldi definitely would because he loves Doctor Who. Like,
yes, like I'd love to see them interact. It'd be great. I need to see it.
And tell you what, I'd love to see
Yeah.
Like, I'd love him just to just go off at 10 and just...
And I can just imagine just 11 just there. Like, if all three of them there, like, 11's just kind of keeping out of it. Like, oh, okay. 10's
like
thinking he's all clever.
Nine would be a bit more on Capaldi's side there. Because
Yeah.
they're both the bit kind of like the darker doctors, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd love that. Just have like a massive argument between them would be great.
I think 8, if 8 was there as well, why not? I think he would be a bit more heroic, I think, but 10 would also try and be the hero.
Yeah. What was it Clara said? The hero, the warrior, and what are you, Matt Smith?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm not particularly fussed what they do. To be honest, like they could just release a normal episode. I'd be happy with it.
Yeah, that's what I'd love something big, but
just give us a series in 2023 and I'll be happy.
Yeah, with these
and that's a lot to ask for these days, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I'm not particularly fussed. Like you say, like maybe get another Doctor or two in. You know, just have them off. Have them off on an adventure. You know, fight some Daleks or Cybermen or whatever you want to do, and call it a day.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, treat yourself. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are just over a month away. Yeah, that's when Christmas is.
It is.
Yeah, we're just over a month away from getting ourselves the festive special, which we still don't know if it'll air on Christmas or New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking it'll be Christmas because there was a bit of a mistake that the New York Comic Con channel did, and they titled something or commented something saying Doctor Who Christmas special.
Yeah,
I feel like they'd know. They would know.
Yeah.
Also, that's another point. When this podcast releases on Monday, the 23rd, do you think we'll get our trailer then?
Oh, that would be a good date to do it on.
I think, as we didn't get it at Children in Need, which, you know, has kind of been, you know, sort of what they've done in the past sometimes. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a little teaser for Revolution of the Daleks.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be long, but something I think would be good to do on that day.
Oh God, did you see the photos that they released at New York Comic Con?
I think so. Yes, I did.
One of them was Jodie in her cell with some chalk on the wall.
Oh yeah.
And the other one, right, the mind-blowing picture. Graham, Yaz, and Ryan sat around a kitchen table.
Oh, what's going on there?
I tell you what, my main worry about this special is that they're going to do a thing of Jodie's in prison, and you know, like her whole story will be like, oh, you know, like I don't know, you know, like Jack comes to save her or something. They break out together, but I want her to be on Earth to fight the Daleks. I don't just want it to be like, oh, Graham, Yaz, and Ryan, they're the ones who save the day. Like, it's Doctor Who. The Doctor needs to do something.
That's what I'm thinking it's going to be, though. Like, it's going to be up to them to save the day, and the Doctor's going to come in at the last minute. Or maybe, you know, she'll come in at the last minute to save the day, but for the majority of it, it will be those three trying to do what they can.
So I'm all for seeing, like, a Doctor Who, like, Prison Break, and maybe get, like, some, like, recognisable villains, like, as, like they form, like, a little team in the prison. So you have, like, the Doctor, Jack Harkness, you maybe get, like, a Slovene as, like, the muscle or something. And, like, they all, like, break out together. It'd be great.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Yeah, it'd be so good. But, like, even the synopsis says, like, oh, the Doctor's friends uncover a plot involving a Dalek. And notice how it only says one Dalek. So
yeah,
I'm assuming it's going to be something similar to that theory that I mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a long old tangent about something that might not even happen.
Well, it's all good to talk about.
Flinging.
Yes. Just quickly, we are over an hour into this.
Wow.
And well, I didn't expect to get this far by still talking about Doctor Who.
No.
What have we got next? So, Series 13 has started filming, but due to everything that's gone on. There's less episodes. There's only 8 episodes in series 13. What?
I'm fine with it. I really am.
Yeah, no
Like,
word if that includes the festive special or if that'll be a separate one. It probably will.
I feel it'll be
It might,
separate
yeah.
because I always include. I know it's not actually how it goes because they do tend to include the Christmas special as the first episode of a new series, but I always think of it as the last episode of a
That's
series.
what I do.
You
I
know?
see it as the last one, not the first. But
So, in my opinion, series 13 will be 8 episodes, and then you got Revolution of the Daleks in front.
yeah,
Have you seen the leaked set pictures of filming?
I haven't. No.
It looks like there's a bloody Sontaran
Oh, that'd be nice.
in a new design, and it looks lovely.
Oh, okay.
They look like classic, like black and silver costumes, and
Nice.
hopefully they don't just make a joke out of them like they always do nowadays. It's just like potato.
It's a potato with a gun.
Yeah, very funny.
Oh.
Yeah, like I said, I'm totally fine with it only being 8 episodes because hopefully that means that they've kind of realised that they can cut out some episodes that maybe aren't that necessary.
Yeah.
So now it'll be a bit more kind of like arc based, and it'll be like, oh look, here's the setup. Every episode we get a bit more of that, and then here's the payoff and the finale.
Yeah. That would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer it. I prefer things when they have a story arc. I'm not really a fan of
Yeah, me too.
one-offs because I feel like it's not
No.
going anywhere. It doesn't matter if
See, I
I
don't mind
watch it or not.
I don't mind it in shows that are meant to be that, like anthology
Oh,
series,
yeah,
like Black Mirror and Twilight Zone and such, because that's what they're meant to be. And I don't think I'll mind it in Tales of the Walking Dead, right? But when it's a show that is abundantly clear has had a story arc for majority of its new seasons, it's like you do feel like you're kind of missing something.
Yeah.
And despite what the listeners might think of the like the timeless child thing in series 12, it was good setup, and like the build up to it was like really interesting. Obviously you had the Roof Doctor who I don't care how the rules of regeneration work, cast her as Dr. 14 because she's bloody brilliant. But yeah, I don't know, I do like the story arc.
Yeah, me too.
Lovely.
So yeah, kind of building upon that with the number of episodes, and I mentioned it earlier, like especially with the classic, like they had a bunch of episodes. I don't know how many exactly. Like, I think some of them had 20 episodes a season, maybe more. I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
But then obviously they were like broken down to 4 parts and like one story, and
So some of them were long.
Yeah.
Some of them were like 6 to 8
yeah,
parts.
and it's like you don't get that these days. And while I think maybe like 6 parts, that's too long because especially if it's weekly, that's almost like a season in itself. But
yeah, I do have an opinion on this. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, and obviously it's like we get less episodes. Like, yes, given what's happened, that's not really anyone's. It's beyond their control, so they can't help that. But and again, with the waits between seasons, it hasn't been as consistent as it used to be, and I read this online, and I've said it here myself. Is that does the BBC have much faith in the show anymore, especially compared to what they used to? What do you think?
I think that, well, in recent years, I feel like the numbers have definitely gone down. Like we've seen that, and I feel like the show, I don't think it'll ever be like a permanently kind of ended thing. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they do kind of say that, okay, this run's kind of done for another, like, I don't know, 5-10 years, and then bring it back. But I don't think they've completely lost faith in it, because this show still makes them a lot of money, especially from merchandise. Like, think of all like the TARDIS toys and the Doctor toys and T-shirts and stuff that they sell. Like, if it's still making them money, they'll still make it. And I think as long as they continue doing that, then I don't think there's going to be much of a problem. But what you were saying about the 4-part story arcs and the 6 parts and 8 parts or whatever, I feel like the way that it is now is miles better. We get longer episodes, because back then, like, yeah, we'd get 6 parts, but they'd all be 20-minute
Yeah, that's true.
episodes. Whereas now, you get like a 40, 45-minute episode, and to be honest, like I was saying about Genesis, most of those multi-part stories, which was for the most part all of them, I always find there's a lot of stuff in there that you don't need, and you can probably cut out like a part or two, because as far as I can remember, like the first Dalek story, which was it Planet of the Daleks? Or was it just Daleks?
I think it was just called the Daleks, I think.
I think one of the parts was called Planet of the Daleks or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's literally a whole part of just them wandering in a jungle, I'm pretty sure, as far as I remember.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's just like, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that you don't need that they kind of have cut now, and
yeah,
like even when they did the bloody monk free passer a couple seasons ago, like I bloody struggled to get through that because 3 parts nowadays, like that's a lot. That's like 2.5 hours of Doctor Who,
yeah,
like all on one story, and it's just like, well, I could do without it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely reflective of the times. Is that
yeah.
Like people? Yeah, they like stories.
They like
but
short
they don't-
form content now. That's what
They do.
people like.
They don't want it to drag on because then they'll switch over. They'll stop watching. It's gone on a bit. It's like that's most notable with The Walking Dead. How they thought, All Out War went on too long. Negan too long, and people don't really want that now. Whereas before they might have liked something, because I suppose I don't know for sure. I can't remember what was on the TV guide in 1970, but back then, there's less stuff to there was less stuff to watch. So maybe having something for longer was, more enjoyable. Whereas now there's so much stuff to watch everywhere. It's like people don't have time to watch one thing for hours on end.
I'm genuinely surprised that Doctor Who hasn't become like a BritBox exclusive or something now. Like,
don't give him ideas. That'd be it.
No, I know, but it's just like a lot of content is streaming service now, and we've spoken about this many a time, I'm sure. But I just feel like there's not like massive like interest in television, and I don't know. That's the one thing that worries me for Doctor Who in the future is, can it keep, keeping up? And like 2005, like yeah, sure, put it on the telly, BBC One or BBC Three, whatever it was, and people will watch. But nowadays, it's, people would rather watch, the 15th season of 13 Reasons Why, and just switch on their telly. But yeah, it's what it is. But I don't know. I feel like it's not gonna end soon. No matter how much some people might want it to, I genuinely do not believe they will end anytime soon.
Yeah, I think it might become more infrequent, but I don't think it can end. Especially with the format, you can just bring in a new actor.
Yeah, exactly.
if they want to leave, it doesn't matter. So it could keep going. That's the thing, because it can.
Doctor Who is the perfect formula for making a long-lasting show.
Yeah.
Your main character can change, their face, their age, whatever. They can't change their age. They've still been born on a certain year, but they can change their face, and you get a new actor, a younger actor. As the time goes on, it's just like you keep the principles the same, but you reinvent it around them.
Yeah, and it's like the entire cast can change every couple of years.
Yeah,
but
and it does.
And it does, but it's not like, it's not a remake. They're not rebooting it or whatever. It's the same show. It's a continuation. It just changes, and
yeah, that's it.
People accept that. Whereas, if you change the cast of some other shows, people aren't always happy with recasts. But in a show like this, that's the point of it.
And I think with Doctor Who as well, they've kind of got like the reasonable excuse of it's not a recast
Yeah,
technically, because it's technically a different character, but it's also the same. It's weird, but it's like
yeah.
the perfect formula for a
It
show.
it really is. Especially think back in the '60s when like, right, Hartnell wasn't well enough to do the show
Yeah.
anymore. He wants out, and the show's doing really well. We don't want to
Well, he
cancel
didn't.
it.
He didn't want out.
Well, no,
No.
but that's the thing. And I thought, right, let's bring in someone new, but how can we make it work? And the
And
regeneration, perfect.
yeah. I got man. I need to rewatch An Adventure in Space and Time. Like,
I haven't watched that in years.
it's such a good like documentary kind of thing. But I love it. It's so good. And yeah, I wish we got more stuff like that.
Yeah,
But I don't know what else they do around. Like you've got like maybe in another 50 years we'll get like a making of the 50th or something, and they'll like dramatize.
they could have done one of like when it was like ending in the '80s. The kind of decline and downfall of Doctor Who.
Yeah,
Yeah, or
yeah,
bringing it back for 2005. I don't know.
yeah. But then you'd have to. I mean, during the 50th, Eccleston didn't want anything to do with it, so you'd have to get someone to play Christopher Eccleston playing the Ninth Doctor.
Yeah,
I tell you what, I think out of any actor, David Bradley is the perfect actor to portray William Hartnell.
he is, and I'm glad they used him as that.
Yeah, I'm glad he actually got to be the first Doctor, not just be William Hartnell.
Yeah,
Like I have my issues with Twice Upon a Time, but like he's just such a lovely man. Like
he is.
it's just like how do you go
Oh.
from what's his face in Harry Potter, Professor Filch, to warm, lovely just David Bradley. Like he's just lovely, isn't he?
He is.
I think he's like the one actor like I would genuinely just like if he one day like this is like a really weird thing to say, but like if he like married into my family, I'd be perfectly happy with him being in my family. like I'd yeah, love him.
Oh.
So
I
yeah,
I think that pretty much wraps up our very lengthy Doctor Who discussion.
yeah. Do you want to do the general discussion points? Because we're already an hour and 20 minutes, and
We are. I think we should. We'll give it a break this week because
Yeah.
otherwise that's a whole other half an hour at least.
yeah.
Um,
Tell you what, should we do our media recommendations and then maybe
Have you-
skip? Do
have you
skip
got a
them?
recommendation?
I do, but it's technically not a movie or show.
And mine is only there because I watched it recently. I mean, we can just
Yes.
skip the whole thing if you want. Just end it.
Let's
because-
do our media recommendations.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
quickly. My recommendation, actually, like I was saying, isn't actually media. So I'll put the link in the description to this, but the YouTuber that I was mentioning earlier on who does Doctor Who videos, his YouTube channel is Ace Creeper, and he does an amazing charity fundraiser every year for Young Minds, which is a charity that's near and dear to my heart. It deals with helping young kids who struggle with mental health and all of that. And he does a fundraiser live stream every year, so I'll put the link to the fundraiser in the description. Please, just if you've got any spare change, just put it in that fundraiser, because like I say, it means a lot to me and a lot of people, and it does a lot of good. So that's my recommendation.
I think that's a brilliant recommendation, actually. And as soon as we finish recording, I'm going to make a donation of myself.
Yes, I did the other day, I think. Yes, I did. Yeah.
Lovely stuff. That's good. That's a really good.
And
that's a really good thing, actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
and if you're the top donor, you get a you get a shout out on their Twitter.
Oh, well, there you go. There's your incentive.
Okay, because I'm pretty sure I donated like 50 quid or something, and
Oh wow, that's
then-
great.
then he, like I say, it's something that means a lot to me personally, and like I say, it helps a lot of like people at our age and younger who struggle with mental health, and just kind of it helps them out massively, and it also raises awareness for that kind of with those kind of issues. And yeah, it's a great charity, and massive shout out to Ace Creeper and to Young Minds.
It's really a great cause, and definitely one worth supporting. So go definitely check that out. I feel a little almost awkward now to piggyback this segment on my media recommendation, which is worlds apart from what yours was. Okay, but my media recommendation is a 2007 film called Zodiac. Starring Mark Ruffalo and Robert Downey Jr. And it's based on the Zodiac killings in San Francisco and California in the 70s of America.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on a true story, but there's elements adapted in it, all that. So it's a long film, over 2.5 hours. But if you're into kind of that murder mystery thriller, true crime kind of thing, it's definitely one to check out. And it's on Netflix. So that's my recommendation.
Yeah, it's definitely one I've been meaning to watch for a while. And I guess to make you feel less awkward, my media recommendation, because I finally watched it, Parasite, the what everyone's calling like the best movie in the world. It is bloody good.
I haven't even seen it. I've heard of the name, but I don't even know anything about it. So
I didn't go into it apart from it won like 1 trillion Oscars.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good. Are we gonna bother doing the not yet told news this week?
Nah.
Yeah. All right. We'll skip it for this week.
We will, unless you want to do it.
Nah, it's alright. We're already an hour and a half in. That's already a lot for me to edit.
Yes.
I guess that pretty much wraps it up for this week. Again, just another reminder: the link to Young Minds, to Ace Creepers, Young Minds fundraiser will be at the top of the description. So please do go check that out. Thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed this lovely Doctor Who special. I really enjoyed it.
I did too. I didn't expect it to go down how it did. I was a little unsure about what I would have to say, but I really enjoyed that. So thank you so much for listening, watching, wherever you are, Spotify, YouTube.
For a second there, I thought you were talking to me when you said thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to me, Jake.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just derailed that whole outro. Thank you again so much for 100 subscribers. We will do our best to get new and fresh content out to you as soon as we can. Check out the playlist if you fancy watching some more videos, and we will see you when we see you. I'm not going to say next week, because who knows at the moment.
Who knows? We'll see you. Until the next time, thank you and goodbye.
Bye.